Hi guys, and welcome to take 2, episode 53 of the Crochetcakes podcast. My name is Clarissa, and you can find me anywhere on the internet as Crochetcakes. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, here on YouTube. You may also check out my blog, which is crochetcakes.com. You may also check out my Etsy shop, which is daintybycrochetcakes.etsy.com. And you may also just search for me in the search engine or do a Google search for Crochet Cakes or Dainty by Crochet Cakes, which is my Etsy shop. You may also email me at crochetcakespodcast@gmail.com. I'm sorry, I know this is a lot of information like right off the bat, but if I don't say it now, I will forget it. So how have you guys been? Thank you so much for coming back and checking out this podcast. And to any new viewers, thank you so much for just clicking that button that you were curious about. I hope you were curious about it anyway. And to any returning viewers, thank you so much for being just lovely, lovely people and always coming back and checking out my episodes. I hope you have all been well. To all my UK friends, which went to Yarndale, I'm jealous. But I'm also very, very happy for you all, and I hope you had a wonderful time and a wonderful weekend and you squished lots of yarn and just generally had the yarniest moments possible. Claudia, I know you had a blast. I'm not even gonna ask if you had a blast. I know you did. It's Yarndale and it's a big fiber festival, guys. Huge. So yes, got that off my chest. I was really sad. Mom and I actually were really sad that we couldn't go. I guess we had a bit of a I didn't go to Yarndale celebrations in order to cheer us up. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I posted a picture of the cheese and wine spread I had for myself to cheer myself up, because cheese and wine, guys. Cheese and wine. I do have a lot of crafty news to share with you guys. Some of it's mine, some of it's other people, but they're all really, really important. So I guess we could just kick it off with some crochet news. What's going on in this community, guys? Well, I already mentioned Yarndale. It's the 1st of October today, which means Rhinebeck is 3 weekends away, if I'm not mistaken. And guess who's not going? My cousin gets married on that same weekend, so, you know, I'm a bridesmaid because it's my cousin. I love her and I want to go to her wedding. So it really honestly was a no-brainer. I hope anybody that's going to Rhinebeck has a lot of fun for you and for me and for the entire people that can't go to Rhinebeck. But I am very happy for the ones who are going to be at Rhinebeck. So what else is going on? Guys, the Socktober has started. So if you guys follow me for any amount of time, or if you follow Faye, or if you follow Claudia, you will know that we have all been prepping like crazy for the Sockalong 2018. And I'm sorry, I completely said that. It's hashtag SockCal 2018. That's the correct word. But it's essentially a Sockalong. If you go to Claudia's of Crochet Luna, the Ravelry group, she's hosting the chatter thread, and there you will find lots of lovely yarny people working on their crochet socks and maybe some knit socks, because crochet socks, knit socks, any type of socks that you make are welcome, and whips are allowed, which is exciting because I have 2 knit sock whips. Woo. Been going on for the longest time, guys. Long. One since summer and one since last year. I'm the worst. I really am the worst. But we're trying. Anyway, along with that Sockcal 2018, there is a blog hop, which is full of such scrumptious, amazing information about crochet socks. The blog hop already started. If I'm not mistaken, yesterday, which was Sunday, Addie Day posted her blog post about sock anatomy. But let's rewind it and start at the beginning. Tamara was Crafty Escapism, so craftyescapism.com was the first one to talk about some crochet sock making tips. Then Faye posted in her blog, which you can find in Knit It, Hook It, Craft It, which is her business. She posted there about choosing your yarns for sock making. And then Mom, on Saturday, which was the start of Yarn Day, September 29th, she posted her crochet, I don't want to say crochet versus knit socks, but it's essentially a comparison between crochet socks and knit socks, and you know, some myths about why we find some better than others and things like that. And then Addie Day posted her sock anatomy, and I'm not sure who is next, but you can check out the blog hop dates. I'll put a link down below to where you can check them out, and you will probably find the blog hop dates posted in the Ravelry group, the chatter thread for the Ravelry group. But I'm very excited. I'm not participating in the blog hop, but I did write up a blog post about my own sock review. If you guys remember, when I went to Edinburgh, I, as usual, was very bad at taking videos for you guys. So what I decided to do was a little special segment of how my handmade socks were during actual cold weather and inside boots. So I essentially wrote out that review into my blog post, which you can just go and check out. As always, all the links will be down below. So the links for the Mind and Muse Crafts podcast, blog will be down below. The link for Faye's blog will be down below. The link for Tamara's blog will be down below. And the link for Addie Day's post will also be down below. So the cool thing about the blog hop is that any person that writes mentions the blog that came before and the blog that will go after. So that's very helpful if you are trying to find, if you only knew about this one blog post and then you're like, oh wait, there's another one written. So you know, you can just have fun and check them all out, which is super exciting. And I'm hosting a special chatter thread in my Ravelry group, which is Crochetcakes podcast. Very creative. If you just search Crochetcakes podcast in the groups tab on Ravelry, you will find a lovely community of crafters and the newest thread, which is a My Sweet Socks chatter thread. So if you follow any of us for any amount of time, by any of us I mean Mom and me, so Inspire Professor or Crochetcakes, you will know that Mom, Caroline, Inspire Professor, has been working on designing her own pair of socks. Well, that pattern is published. You can find it on Ravelry and you can find it in her blog as well. It's a free pattern, guys. And if you just search My Sweet Socks, you will be able to, on Ravelry, you'll be able to find the pattern. And it's a lovely pattern. In order to kind of like commemorate it and celebrate, Mom and I put together a series of sock sets. There are 5 left over in my shop. I believe I had made 9. Yes, I had sewn 9, so I'm really excited that they were so well received. So I lie. I'm 6 left in the shop. There should be 6. Anyway, so what I made was this lovely Alice in Wonderland themed fabric. And why did I choose that? Because it's called My Sweet Socks, and we've got some cakes, we've got some desserts, some teas. I love tea time. So inside it's lined with some rose fabric. It's got a mid-weight interfacing, and if you buy the complete kit, it comes with the coordinating minis. These are 10-gram minis each, and they're enough to make the cupcake stitch on a pair of shorty socks. What do I mean by that? I will explain when I show you my sweet socks. And it also comes with a official Socktober pin for our crochet along, which Claudia designed, and Mom and I just bought a whole bunch of them to include in your bags. So if you purchase the whole kit, you will get the bag, you will get the minis, and you will get the pin. I have to make myself one of these bags, by the way. I didn't make myself. So now that I've mentioned that and I've mentioned the chatter thread, so I should also, you know, caveat, guys, caveat, that chatter thread is only for people making the My Sweet Socks pattern. And why wouldn't you make that pattern? let me get my socks and show you why you should make that pattern. So I'm back with my lovely socks. What I mean by that the 30 gram minis gives you enough to make a cupcake stitch on a pair of shorty socks is this. So this was version 2. Okay, I'm just gonna have to hold them here. This was version 2 of the socks I made. And these were made with a BFL nylon blend from Lighthouse Yarns. And this is just one repeat of that cupcake stitch and a knit cuff. I usually knit the cuffs on my crochet socks just because crochet socks tend to be a bit wide on my ankle. I mean, on my leg. And I can decrease stitches, but I just like the overall fit with a knit cuff better. That's just preference. And you can also kind of see I've already used these guys because the heel's a little tiny bit worn, but heck, I use these after 12 hours of work. So I love this yarn. This is Beach on the Wicky's base from Lighthouse Yarns. It's a BFL nylon, and if you can see, the speckling is just, it's coming out heavier actually than it is in real life because it's tonal and speckled, and I just absolutely love it. So as I said, I knit the cuff. It's a 2x2 rib, but I also have the first socks I made. Now, the first socks I made from this pattern, I used a gradient sock blank from Little Bean Loves. It was called Watermelon. And I have not used these just because I love them so much, which is ridiculous because if I love them, I should use them, right? But anywho, these are just scrumptious and perfect. And you can see how the gradient just kind of worked up. Now, I could have probably maneuvered it so that the cupcakes were in the pink and the white, but I just let it go. I am thrilled enough that the leg starts in green and the cuff kind of ends in green too. That thrills me. So these are two different versions of the My Sweet Socks patterns. They're all made following the same instructions. It's just that here I decided to do only one cupcake repeat, and here I followed the pattern for 3 cupcake repeats. And then I also knit a cuff. I think I did a knit one, purl one cuff here. I did do a knit one, purl one cuff, which is very weird for me. I usually do a knit 2, purl 2. This is very weird. Very weird. I didn't even remember I had done a knit 1, purl 1. But you can see the difference between the knit 2 and the knit 1. So these are my examples of the My Sweet Socks. I will be starting another one because I want to participate in the chatter thread in the Ravelry group. And like I said, that chatter thread is only for people making these socks. And I'm not just saying this because Mom designed the pattern, but it's very detailed. There are pictures to guide you along. And if you have any questions, you could just write to her directly and she will be more than happy to clear up any doubts that you may have. So go ahead, get to Ravelry, or go to her blog and download My Sweet Socks. And you will be thrilled. I assure you, you'll be thrilled. They're just so cute and dainty, and I really, really love them. I love every single aspect of the sock that's included in that pattern. I'm going to try and do a crochet cuff as well for the 3rd pair I attempt. But I think for the 3rd pair, I will also make them longer. Yeah. Or maybe I won't. I do like pair of shorties. Anyway, so other crochet news that I want to give you guys. If you remember one of the last episodes I recorded with Mom, we were doing kind of like our goals for 2018 and what we wanted to learn, what we wanted to practice, what we wanted to remake, and things like that. And I had said that I wanted to try corner to corner crochet, C2C crochet, and lovely Rosina from the Zines and Roger podcast, she had gifted me her corner to corner bag. So she's got a bag pattern that's corner to corner, and it's beautiful, and it's just beautiful, and I wanted to make it, but I'd never done C2C before. And I'm just bringing this up because Rosina on the 7th of October is hosting a C2C crochet along. So you can either work up her patterns, work up any patterns. She does have a board on Pinterest where it's C2C, so you can see some corner to corner projects. I'm sorry if the light keeps changing. I am aware that it goes from dark to perfect to light to dark to perfect to light. And I did try. This episode I brought all the lamps in our apartment. They're around me. I'm sorry. So yes, Rosina on the 7th of October is hosting a C2C Cal. And I don't want to participate in it because I do have to start my Christmas making, but I do want to participate in it because it sounds like such a fun Cal, and it's learning a new technique, which is what I really want to do. I don't think I've challenged myself enough this year with learning new techniques, and I want to end this year on a high note. So even though I've done things I've never done before, like design something, which you can find on my blog if you're interested, and knit a shawl, which I've never knit before, it doesn't feel like I've challenged myself enough, because I did want to learn some cable, crochet, and knit cables as well. So I'm very tempted to buy Sandra's Twisty Twirls knit sock pattern because it's got a cable on one side, I believe. And so I think that'd be a fun way to start working on cables. But for the corner to corner, I'm very tempted to make Rosina's pattern that she gifted to me, so that beautiful bag pattern. But I'm also tempted to do a blanket. And I already know what yarn I'm going to use for the corner to corner, so it's not like it's going, it could go either way. Honestly, it could go either way. So other news, Hannah came out with some new patterns. So that's Hannah from Cozy Cottage Crochet. Strictly started. So you could go check out Allie's podcast, Little Drops of Wonderful, to find out all about Strictly. I still haven't decided if I'm going to participate in Strictly. But anyway, I think I've run out of news. Pretty sure. I would like to think I've been very thorough. So, I'm going to show you quickly what I'm wearing. So, what I'm wearing is a crochet necklace, which I'm wearing. Incidentally, I'm wearing backwards. So, this is the back of it, but this is the front. And it's found in the Making Winter book that I received last year for Christmas from my fiance. And it's just a little crochet motif that I put on chain with some check crystals. And this top is knit, you can tell, but I got it at a consignment store. And I bought it because I totally think I can crochet a version of this, and I think it'll be quite fun. And I just liked it. It's comfortable, and I think I'm living in it currently. I've been wearing it so often just to go out and, you know, when I'm working around the house, because I don't want to feel like I'm not working, if that makes sense. So does anybody else do that? Like, if you work from home, if you have a business from home, do you dress not in-house clothes to just feel a bit better, because I tend to do that. So yes, that is what I'm wearing. I do have one finished object to share with you and several half-finished objects. So the finished object that I have to share with you is okay, his ears like a little upside. This is a pattern that I've been waiting forever to make. It's the Cojinteo by Susumiu. So you can go to susumiu.es. It is, I'll include the link down below as usual. It is a Spanish blog that I follow, and I absolutely love her style of crochet. I love all her yarns, but she doesn't really ship to the United States. At least it's never been an option when I try to purchase. So I'll go her yarn. Anyway, what I used here is Drops Paris, which is an Aran weight cotton. I used 3 strands of it held together, and I left the little tail. It's all woven in, but I left the little tail out so you could see that there are 3 strands of Drop Paris held together in the color mustard. So in total, for the front and for the back, I used 6 balls. I did have a little bit left over from the last one. So all that gave me enough yarn to do the ears, which I did with the 3 strands held double as well, and sew the cushion together, which I did with the 3 strands of yarn held together as well. This one is also Drops Paris, but only one, just the normal 1 strand, and I used a 3.5mm crochet hook. Now, in her version, you will find that she has little cheeks on it, but I'm pretty sure she used a fingering weight cotton, pink cotton, to work up the little cheeks. And I just had the pink Aran weight, so I decided to cut them out and just have the guy be all serious. Anyway, I love this cushion so much. I can't even tell you guys how much I love this cushion. The hardest part was actually stuffing it, because she stuffs it using a bag. So I used some fabric, it's black fabric, to finagle a bag. And I just sewed it and I stuffed it as much as I could stuff it. And I've got nothing bad to say about this, honestly. These are felted pieces, so that makes it a little bit easier as well, and it's just so squishy and lovable. The yarn, oh my goodness, I love Drops Paris. So it is a little bit splitty, but all cotton yarn is, so sorry, I'm getting like super in your face, but all cotton yarn is, but the feel of it, it's just so soft. You could definitely tell this is a cotton that was designed to make finer things and not like kitchen cotton for like peaches and cream. It's not that type of cotton, and I think it's even softer. It's softer than Knit Picks Dishy as well. I absolutely love it. I got the yarn off of woolwarehouse.com. I'm sorry, woolwarehouse.co.uk, which is just as it sounds, a warehouse full of yarn. And it is from the UK, but the shipping is very, very manageable. So if I want to order some yarns that are only available to my European friends, I usually go with them because the shipping is very manageable. Now, projects that I'm working on, I am working on more projects than I will show you. My Astroturf, I finished the front panel and I started the back panel, and I'm still only using 1 ball of the Knit Crate yarn that I received, and it was the Contemporary yarn, which is the marled sock. I'm still just in the first ball. I haven't even wound up the second. I think I'll have enough to just finish the front and the back with that one. I have not knit at all on my Ollivander shawl, and I have not worked at all on my Secret Garden dress. But never fear, none of those projects are getting dropped by the wayside. It's just gift knitting, guys. It has started. So for gift knitting, you were aware that I had some issues working on a sock for my fiance, which he's begged and pleaded and asked about ever since I started it. I finished one of them. I finished one of his socks, and I'm just gonna put them here to demonstrate, but they're obviously too big for this sock blocker. Look at that. So he tried them on. They fit perfect lengthwise. The only issue is the cuff is slightly baggy on him. That's because I did 72 stitches. So I think I'm going to do 70 stitches for the second sock, and just try so it's not too baggy. But the length fit him perfectly, which I was super excited about, because you guys remember last time I was like crying that it wasn't going to fit, but it did. Huzzah, hurrah, lovely, lovely, beautiful. So there's nothing special about this sock. It's just 72 stitches, 2x2 rib, heel flap and gusset, and knit all the way around. It's a very, very boring sock. The only thing exciting is the color, and this is Lang Yarns. I'm not sure what the color is, but the fiber content is cotton, nylon, and wool. So this is the one I'm using. I think it's perfect for tropical weather because it's just 45% wool, 35% cotton, 13% polyamide, 7% polyester. So it's very plump. But it doesn't have the memory of wool, I guess I should say, when you're using a full wool sock. And it's living in my tartan bag that I absolutely adore. I adore that bag. So let me just show you my other pair of knit socks. These are for my sister, and these are living in what I find to be the most impractical bag I have ever purchased. So I purchased this last year at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. It's from The Little Grey Girl. It's very well made. I love the fabric, which is why I purchased it, but I find it very impractical. I mean, I guess it does fit a skein of yarn, a pre-made sock, and my work in progress, but it's just so fussy to get things in there that I'm not sure it's one of my favorite bags. So here we are, just kind of trying to get this sock. You can feel the difference in tension. Oh my god, you can totally feel the difference in tension. So this is a Regia sock yarn. I've lost the ball band at this point, but it's a Regia sock yarn, and I'm just doing the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern, 2x2 rib, Erica's heel flap and gusset. I took the slip knits down to the heel a little bit, to the heel turn I should say, and yeah, it's just a standard sock really, but you can really feel the difference between this yarn and the Lang sock yarn that I just showed you, and you can definitely feel the difference in my tension. So I'm going to take this off the sock blocker so you can see and compare the cuff. This was a year ago. Now this is why things shouldn't languish that long. So this was a year ago. This is now. It's not that noticeable, but my gauge has loosened quite a lot on these circular needles. And I don't like it. I mean, I don't think it's a loose gauge, but yeah. So I'm just working it as the pattern says, except for the fact that I did a 2x2 rib, and I'm just using 9 yarn circulars. Erica's patterns are usually written for 2 circular needles, but I'm just using 1. So yes, it's living in the spa. And the other sock I have to share with you is the sock I started for our Socktober 2018. Da 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 da! You ready? Because it's almost done. Yes. So this is my sock. You can kind of see it there. And you can see how much knitting the cuff has pulled in the leg, because that's my problem with the crochet socks. And I'm always too afraid of reducing the stitches. So I am making for this a mixture of the Gorman and Mom's My Sweet Sock pattern. Why do I say I'm making a mixture of that? Because in this pattern, the size medium is made with 48 stitches. In Mom's pattern, the size small is made with 48 stitches. So, they fit okay. They fit perfectly fine. In fact, I think from now on, I'm probably just going to use 48 stitches on my sock and just change the length. So for this one, since I was using 48 stitches, I did the toe that's recommended, that's given to you in the Gorman toe-up sock pattern. I don't really like it. I prefer the toe in Mom's pattern. And I just worked in the circular, in the round. I didn't connect to anything. And just did the stitch that's given to you, but I did not do a gusset and heel flap as Ron Strong does in his pattern. I just did a short row heel, and then I knit 3 inches of leg, almost 3 inches, and I started my cuff. Now the reason I did such a pair of shorty socks is because I wanted to have enough yarn left over to try and knit a pair of socks, because this was the yarn that I purchased from Crafting Treats at a discounted price, with the understanding that I would provide high quality pictures of whatever I made. This is sock yarn, okay? And her ball band is right here. So this is a 85% Pullworth, 15% nylon. The Crafternoon sock base is spun and superwash treated in the UK. But even though it's superwash treated, the difference between this and a merino superwash treated is so huge. And it's eco printed with fresh leaves of birch, goldenrod, and fennel plus tea. So this is how it looks in the cake, as I already showed you. And this is how it looks in the sock. So it's pretty much a matchy. I'm calling this my banana milk socks because the color kind of reminds me of a banana peel. And I usually make a smoothie with like either sesame seeds or almond butter with bananas, so it ends up looking kind of like this when I make it with the almond butter. So my banana milk socks. So yeah, I started those on Saturday, the day the Cal started, and today I worked on them just Saturday and Sunday. So on Saturday I worked with them about an hour and a half on the drive to Orlando, and it was an hour up and then like 30 minutes down. That's how much I worked on the sock, and I had finished the toe and started the foot. And yesterday, after, you know, cooking and kind of picking up around the apartment, I also worked on that sock, and yeah, I'm almost finished with the first. So those are the only socks I have on the go, but those are not the only socks I want to start. So I already wound up some self-striping yarn, and I want to make the Mercury sock pattern for me this time. I knit up a version for Mom last year for her birthday, which actually ended up a Christmas gift. I found out that it's not that I'm slow at knitting socks, it's that for me, socks are a project that I can have on the go but not work on it all the time. So I think that's it. My problem with socks, I mean. In terms of acquisitions, I received that elusive just ball of yarn to see if I can finish my dress. And I may have made a cheeky purchase yesterday, but I didn't go to Yarndale, so I'm not really counting it as an addition to my stash. I'm the worst. You don't need to tell me. I'm the worst. Oh, I just remembered something else I finished and I did not share with you. So I'm gonna go grab it real quick and I'll be back. Did you miss me? So the other finished object, I have several finished objects, but this is another cushion. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to have finally purchased some of this fabric. The first time I saw this fabric was on the susumiu Instagram feed and I loved it, but I couldn't find it. I just couldn't find the fabric. This is a 50% cotton, 50% linen blend, so it's about $20 a yard. So it was very self-indulgent and I only bought half a yard. It's KoKka, I believe is the company. It's screen printed in Japan. It's a Japanese fabric. I do not regret purchasing this at all. It's beautiful, and I just did an envelope cushion cover for a 12 by 12 pillow and it came out perfect. And I love this cushion so much. Looking at it just makes me so happy and it's so beautiful. I do have a tiny bit of fabric left over. I think I'm gonna make some notions pouches. I don't know if I'm gonna put them in the shop just because, don't get me wrong, this fabric is gorgeous and I want to buy more for the shop, but there'll be a significant increase in price to whatever objects I make with this because this is $20 a yard. But it's beautiful and I think it's worth every penny. So, other sewn finished objects that I have, and I guess if you are not interested in my Etsy shop, you can fast forward me. I'll only be talking about Etsy shop news for a little bit. I already mentioned I already mentioned this bag kit that's in the shop, so I don't need to restate that. But what I do need to mention is, if you're aware, I've been collaborating on a mini Christmas advent calendar with Acorn Willows, who's Melissa, and Crochet Luna, Claudia, Crochet Luna, and Mom. We've all kind of chipped in ideas and objects to make a beautiful and interesting mini advent kit. So there'll be 12 minis, and each mini skein will be dyed up with a quote from a Christmas movie, which I think is brilliant. And we're gonna include these sock bags, which I made. They're just in the most gorgeous Christmas fabric. I wanted to make them as Christmassy as possible, and since everything sparkles in our advent kit, I wanted to include some sparkle in mine. So this is also interfaced with mid-weight interfacing, and it's got a handle, and yeah, lovely Christmas fabric. So this is the bag I'm making to include in those kits. Mom is crocheting up some mini socks, and Claudia did a pin, which is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. The other thing that I have to share that's in my Etsy shop right now, well, it's not in my Etsy shop right now, but it will be. I wanted to come up with some bigger bags because as a crocheter, I don't usually need so many small bags. I am crocheting up a lot of socks and knitting up a lot of socks, so that's why I do have a lot of small bags, but I also like to crochet garments, and you need bigger bags for those. Well, I have them. I wanted you guys to have some too. So this is an example of a much bigger bag, but This is my Halloween tote bag. I absolutely love it. Bear in mind, this is about 2.5 yards of fabric. I'm sorry, 1.5 yards of fabric in here. Okay, and this is the inside. You can see my label. I've changed my label, guys. I'll show that to you next time. And you can see, let me just turn it inside out for you. It's not a big deal. And you can see I've got pocket. Look at that pocket. It's so sturdy and gorgeous. And the pocket is heavyweight interfacing, but the bag is made with quilter's batting. So you can see that. I am absolutely thrilled with this bag. I almost don't want to put it in the shop because I love it so much, but I also don't want to be greedy because I am making myself a skirt out of this bag. So this is an Alexander Henry fabric. It's called Trickery, and the inside is a black fabric from Joann's. So this will be in the shop. I will be taking pictures, hopefully later today. It's the sun, as you can tell, has been kind of hit or miss. So hopefully I'll be able to take pictures today and post it up. I already have a description written for it. All I'm missing are pictures. And I do have another tote bag, a bit smaller than this one. And this one is 14 by 15.5, and the other one is 12 by 13.5. So they're both pretty big sizes, especially considering that there's no zip or anything to kind of take up some of the fabric. So they're both would be good for garments or whatever large project you're making. But yes, I think that is all the crafty stuff I've been up to this week, other than, you know, writing my blog and reading other people's blog posts and cooking. I love cooking. So the other thing that I have to do is just to get on over to the post office to ship some orders that people have made. Well, just one order, but it was for the sock kit. So I'm very happy. I'm so happy. And thank you so much to everybody who's purchased anything from my shop. So yeah, guys, I think I talked about all the crafty things that I have to talk about, other than finishing My Hero Academia, which is very sad. They just started filming season 4, so I'll have to wait an eternity for that. And there's a movie. We didn't get to watch it when we drove down to Orlando this Saturday because there's only one viewing at 7:30, and we do have a puppy that cannot be alone for all that time. So adulting, guys. When you adult, you have to sacrifice things like watching movies. Actually, no. You just have to plan better. If you plan better, you can get it all done. But we didn't really plan. So that was our fault. So yeah, today I just have to edit this podcast, go to the post office, upload this podcast, take the pictures of the bag I just promised you to upload it tomorrow or Wednesday. But if you are interested in other Halloween bags, I've got 3 more in my shop that you can just go check out if you want. And yeah, guys, I think this is it for me. So I will see you next week for a new blog post, and in 2 weeks' time for a new vlogcast. Have a wonderful, happy crafting time. Bye.